Hey guys, George at SoundTraxx here, and as we see our popularity with SoundTraxx products growing, whether it be Blue Nami, Tsunami 2, Econami, or others, there's always the million-dollar question, how do you get started? So we're going to cover that topic today and talk a little bit about where to find the information on how to set up your decoder. So let's get started. Now, first thing, when you open up your decoder, you're going to get it in a package very similar to what we have here. Now, in my hand, I happen to have a Blue Nami decoder. And what you're going to notice is that I don't have the decoder with me, but with the package, it's a trifold package. And inside the package, first off, you'll see a lot of the specs here listed on the front. And then when you open up the first tab, you see some basic information about the decoder, the installation. You'll see a wiring diagram, things like that. And then down below, you'll see some basic adjustments, some things that are very common, things like some basic horn selection, bell selection, and so forth. But this is by no stretch of the imagination the comprehensive list of everything that's installed. But we'll get to that in just a moment. Now, up on top, you see the basic function mapping, so you can know which function buttons trigger what sound effects, things like that. So there's some good information on this card, but it is intended to be very brief, just to get your feet wet so that you can start playing with your decoder right away. And on the back, you'll see some other specs and things like that. But there's a few things. Number one, always pay attention to the diagram. Number one, it shows you how to wire up your model. In this particular case with the blue P&P, it's showing you how to wire LEDs with the resistors on the Blue Nami P&P. So that way, if you take a moment and take a look here, you'll know that you got to add resistors into your decoder installation. But on other versions, for example, our 21 pin, you can actually see the orientation of the 21 pin plug, because surprisingly, we still get a lot of questions about how that plug fits in. And somebody will call up and say they haven't plugged it, or they plugged it in and they're not getting anything out of it, usually because it's plugged in upside down. So pay attention to the diagrams on there because they're going to help you a lot. Now, as I said, this is very, very brief. And so how do I get all the rest of the information? Well, this is where you're going to go visit our website at SoundTraxx.com. When you go to the SoundTraxx website, you're going to click on support, and then you're going to scroll down where you see documentation, and then that's going to pull out a little side menu, and you're going to see manuals. So you're going to click on manuals. Here's where you're going to click on the correct product family, whether you're looking at a Blue Nami, Tsunami 2, or Econami, or even a sound card decoder or a mobile decoder. You click on the right family, and this is where you're going to find the manuals. So, for example, here in front of me, I have an example of the Tsunami 2 Diesel User's Guide. Well, as you can see, this is a fairly thick document, and there's a lot of information built into the manual to help explain all of the features that the decoder can do. Because you as the customer have asked for a lot of things that our decoder can do, and so there's a lot of great explanations in here. Now, shipping a decoder in this versus including a manual, you can see why we have the manual on our website. Now, this is a free download. You can go to our website right now and, well, finish the video first. But you can go to our website as soon as you're done with the video and find the documentation, and this is where you're going to see this. Now, one of the biggest things I always recommend is start with the user's guide. The user's guide is going to be the explanation, using English terms, of how the decoder performs. Basically, all the settings, all the adjustments, the sounds files, all of that kind of stuff you're going to find there. Now, once you become more proficient with the decoder and you understand how to use it, that's when you would then grab the technical reference. Think of the technical reference as an appendix. And the appendix basically is going to give you a CV by CV breakdown of the bits built into that CV. And what that's going to allow you to do is to see the bit structure so that you can make your adjustments. But again, if you're not familiar with the decoder and how it works, this technical reference is probably going to confuse you more. So set that aside for now and make sure you grab our user's guide. Now, all of our users that are brand new to our product, or even some experienced users who may not have actually read through the book, I actually encourage you to please read chapter 1, section 1, whatever you want to call it. The reason for that is because the first section, the chapter 1, whatever, explains all of the features that are built into the decoder, all the sounds you're hearing. So when you hear that click, 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 what is that sound? Well, if you don't know what it is, it may be easy to ignore. But when you listen and you find out what it actually is, this may become the most important thing. Now, honestly, the click, 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 click probably isn't, but you get the idea. So you may go in and say, oh, this is a feature I need to play with or explore more, because now you're getting into the nuts and bolts of how the decoder operates. Because remember, anybody can make a noisemaker, but what we did is we tried to build a locomotive simulation sound system in our decoder so that way it gives you more of a realistic experience of actually running the real trains. And so again, start with the user's guide. Now, let's say you're buying a decoder and it is factory installed. Now, this can be from our partners at Athearn, Bachmann, or whoever that's using SoundTraxx products. You're going to get a manual that's very similar to this. And this is one that comes with an Athearn model. And you'll see that it has the Tsunami 2 logo. But when we open it up, it gives you some information about the model, maintenance, performance, and then DCC and sound and how to use the decoder. But you're going to notice there's some function mapping list, but there's a lot of features and things that are left out, because this is designed, again, to be a very brief overview to kind of get your feet wet into being able to enjoy the decoder out of the package. And then there's a full CV list. But as you can see, there's not much to this documentation. So it's going to give you the basic overview to get started and some key features. But again, if you really want to dive deep and get the most out of your decoder, let's go back to our user's guide, because again, this is going to explain everything. Now, there's two other things I want to mention when it comes to our decoders. First off, when you buy a decoder, you may be wondering what sounds are preloaded on the decoders. And so this is where you're going to go back to the manuals page and you're going to see the sound selection reference, whether it's steam or any of the 5 diesel flavors, EMD, EMD2, GE, Alco, and then the Land of Misfit Toys known as the Baldwin and others. And then we also have electric. And then this is going to give you the CV values. For example, selecting the air horn on a diesel, CV number 120, it's going to give you what each of those values from 0 to 44 allows you to choose, so that way you can select the proper air horn to match your model. Now, when you buy a factory installed decoder, a lot of times they've already done that work for you. So now you're going to want to go under support, and you're going to scroll down where you see factory installed decoders. And this is where you're going to click on, again, we're going to talk about our friends at Athearn. So you're going to click on the Athearn logo, and then you're going to go to Genesis, and you're going to see that it actually says, here's a list of all the models, and then you can actually find your model with your respective road number. And then you can click on it, and it's going to give you all the default CVs that differ from the aftermarket settings, so that way you can quickly identify what features are enabled or disabled in that model by quickly looking through that CV roster. And we've been doing these for every model that they've released by road number. Now, you may notice some of them are very similar or the same depending on which model you're getting, but that particular road number is in fact mentioned, so that way you can find the document that pertains to the decoder that's installed inside that model. So you have a good idea of where the starting point is, so that you can go in and start playing with it, with the settings, adjusting the decoder, whatever you like to do. But now you know where to start from. So whether you want to dive deep into the manual and get really deep into it and really play with the features, kind of like somebody else we all know does, or if you just want to get some basic information and just run your trains around, you're happy with the settings, it'll all get you started. And if all else fails, if you're not sure of something, or if you don't understand how something is explained, give us a call. Myself and Graham's our primary face of tech support, but either one of us will be able to help answer any questions for you, help explain the feature, how it's set up, and help you get on your way so that you can get back to enjoying model trains. We're a phone call or an email away, so you give us a call at the office, or if you hit the email support@soundtraxx.com, we'll usually respond to you within the same day, if not first thing the next morning. So we do try to make sure we get to you quickly, because if you don't know how to run your trains, then you can't be having fun. So with that, guys, that's everything I've got prepared for this particular episode. I hope this was helpful for you. And if you have any questions, like I said, please give us a call. Now, if you found this content helpful, you'll want to subscribe, because a lot of the information that's in the manuals is actually explained in our YouTube videos that we've been posting on this video platform for many years. Now, search SoundTraxx and the topic you would like to discuss. So for example, let's say you want to learn about function mapping, which determines which buttons on your throttle control which sound effects or motion effects, whatever, in your model. You may want to do that. So search SoundTraxx and function mapping, and you'll see at least 3 or 4 videos where we've done explaining different aspects of function mapping. But this is just an example of how thorough we've been trying to make those videos to help you, again, get on with enjoying running your model trains and get over the fear of the technical aspect of the Decoders operation. So also be sure to click that like button, and if you like this video, we'll be able to do more beginner type videos. It's hard to know where to start with a lot of stuff, so be sure to give us the thumbs up, let us know you like this, and comment below. Give us a comment if you liked it. Comment, let us know if you have any questions, anything like that. We'll usually get back to you again on the platform. So guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.